Good evening everyone, can I welcome you to Brent Knoll Parish Council's March meeting. Before we get on to the agenda itself, we normally have public questions, public speaking time. We also have a couple of presentations tonight. I'd like to welcome all the members of the public here tonight. Particularly I'd like to welcome Wee Harper, good to see you. And also it's a great pleasure to welcome Mike Best, who is the Chairman of Somerset Council. And it's my pleasure tonight to hand over to Mike to perform this evening. So, Mike, can I hand over to you, please?
Yes, certainly. First of all, thank you very much for allowing me to come here and make this presentation. Whether when I've been on the parish council, on the district council, I was on SSDC, or now with the Unitary Authority, I've always been a great believer in rewarding people for what they do in the community. Because so many people do so much, and usually it goes without recognition, and a lot of people don't want the recognition, but it's nice to reward people. It goes back to October last year. We had the ceremony at the Taunton Rugby Club, where we gave out 42 awards. Unfortunately, due to the circumstances, as you all know, this award has had to be delayed. I've spent a little bit of time going around to different councils giving out the actual awards that people couldn't collect. And like I say, my deepest condolences for the loss of your husband. On the evening, the deputy would have read out the citation. The citation is only a part of what you wrote. But it was a shortened version. So if I can just read that as a start. Obviously the citation for John Harper, deceased. John Harper was a stalwart member of the community of Brent Knoll for many years. Always willing to get involved in projects, usually leading from the front and seeking to do what was best for the village. Sadly, John passed away shortly after this nomination was submitted for the award. This award is in recognition of the many years' service to the community of Brent Knoll, and we hope it will show how well John is recognised in the community. And it gives me great pleasure, if you'd like to. This is the certificate which we would do it. What I've done is I've also framed that, which was a citation. Also, he said, pulling out of his pocket, there is, usually John would have got a tie, but this is a lady's scarf which we found. And also that is a little clip that goes with it. But many congratulations, and like I say, it's so sad that he couldn't be here to press.
Thank you very much. Thank you all very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank you. We move on to our next item. If I can introduce, we've got representatives today from, is it Barrett Homes or Barrett, who are here to give us some background information on the proposals that have come forward for the land between ourselves and Burnham-on-Sea. So I'm again going to hand over to others to make the presentation. So if you'd like to introduce yourselves, and then I'll move out of the way so people can see what's on the screen.
Yeah, my name's Matthew Roberts, and I work for a company called JBP. We're sort of like a cog in the Barrett machine for these proposals. We're doing out of many consultants, we're doing the sort of communications, the engagement with yourselves tonight, Burnham-on-Sea Town Council on Monday, Barrow Parish Council last night. Meeting with, we've got in touch with quite a number of organisations, bodies, and quite a lot in the past few weeks. Meeting with Somerset Wildlife on site in the next couple of weeks, Burnham Chamber of Commerce, Somerset Chamber of Commerce. So we try to reach out to as many people as possible. And what we're doing at this stage is basically getting in touch to say, hello, we're here, and basically there's nothing to hide. We're just sort of introducing what there is at the moment, which, to be honest, is not much more than this, but Andrew will attest to that in a moment and go through as much detail as we can. and also answer any questions. But we're also keen that it's not just, we're here to ask as well. How does the parish want to engage with us in the years and months ahead as well? So any sort of suggestions on that would be much appreciated. But yeah, Andrew, do you want to sort of go
Yeah,
ahead?
let me carry on. First of all, please sit down because that only changes twice.
Does it?
Yeah, you're all looking as if you're about to wait from our cinema show. There isn't going to be. My name is Andrew Pennant, which if you're taking in, I'm going to sit like that. Can you all hear me, see me? I'm just conscious of turning my back on people. My name is Andrew Pennant, which if you're taking a note is P-E-N-N-A. I work for Barratt. I'm a planner with Barratt. Sounds like something you should say at the start of a different meeting, isn't it? Hi, my name is Andrew, I'm a planner. My job is to look after anything within Barratt, Bristol, that doesn't have a planning permission. Strategic sites, in other words, and this is very much in that category. As you will see, we were selected by a group of local people who own the land to look at promoting the land for development in the future. So I'm going to just take you through, in the next 10 minutes, a few what we aren't doing, first of all, which is very important, a bit about what we are doing, and a bit about timetable. What are we not doing? We are not putting a planning application in. Absolutely critical. We are not preparing a planning application. We are not preparing to prepare a planning application. Absolutely, definitively, no planning application coming, and as I'll come on to, we are years away from planning applications. That's a really important message that I'd be very grateful that you get out to the community to allay fears that things are happening or the bulldozers will be rolling in the coming weeks or months. Definitely not. What are we doing? We're trying to get that piece of land into the new Somerset local plan and identified in some form for housing. That's what we're trying to do. We're not leading with a planning application. We know we would never get a planning permission unless the site has some sort of planning status, and that means the Somerset local plan, which will start to come out next year, and I'll come back to timetables. What else are we doing at the moment? Well, two major exercises. As Matt said, we are out listening. We were at Burnham Town Council on Monday night. We were at Brent Parish last night. We've got other meetings programmed with Burnham Chamber, Somerset Chamber. We've talked to the Gravity people. It's a bit of an odd expression, isn't it? The Gravity people. You know what I mean. We're talking to the Somerset Wildlife Trust in a couple of weeks' time. And, any local organisations that, would like to see or hear from us, we will, happily come and say our piece. We hope that will be a continuing process because this is a long-term project. We've heard views already about the scale of the development, of course. We've had views ranging from absolute, very significant concerns, but also those recognising that development can bring about economic regeneration, particularly to town centres. Clearly, those communities closest to this, but not Burnham, are going to have concerns, as are existing residents. We need to do our best to allay those concerns. So, it's a listening process. I'm sure that will come out through the Q&A tonight. What else are we doing? We're doing our homework, frankly. We know that the site is in flood zone. So we know we will not get anywhere unless we can convince some pretty important organisations, namely the Inland Drainage Authority, the Drainage Board, Somerset as the local drainage authority and the Environment Agency, that we can mitigate and deal with all those blue ditches, reens and main reens that cross the land up there. So we've got a major challenge on our hands just to get the principle established that we could possibly build on this in the future. We're talking to those organisations, and it'll take many months, if not longer, to get those organisations to buy into the principle of potential development. We're also aware of obviously issues with the coastal defences. Talk about managed retreat and all this sort of things from the Environment Agency, climate change, sea level rises. So a lot of homework for us to do there. The other big one, of course, is transport. We know that, the road network. Some of you may know that in the Sedgemoor adopted local plan, there's a reference to this piece of land as a future possible development site. That also refers to the possible a link road through from the bottom down Stoddens, connecting through to the road at the top, and then I think the idea was that it would eventually carry on and join right up towards past Barrow and onto Breen to provide some sort of connection up to the Carrum. Now, apparently we heard last night at the Barrow meeting that those proposals were very much part of public meetings that Somerset Sedgemoor were running 10 or 15 years ago. Now, I don't know that level of background. I've yet to be convinced that that link road is a good idea. We're not normally supposed to be building roads these days, so the idea of a road-led development, we need to look into the whole detail of that. I live locally, I'm in Taunton, Matt's in West-Seaver-Mare, so we both know, how the M5 doesn't work during most of the summer. We all know that it's difficult to move around and do our daily jobs when the holiday season is in full swing. Adding new housing of this kind of scale next to an existing holiday town, next to a motorway junction, there's clearly going to be massive challenges in terms of how we deal with the traffic side of things. In addition to those two big ones, we're also dealing with, that's not to say the others that follow aren't big, but we're also dealing with archaeology, with heritage, with landscape. Obviously the views from and the impact on Brent Knoll itself is a big issue. Trees, we've done a ground conditions survey, we've done a topographical survey. This one I looked at because I probably missed somebody out.
Heritage.
I think I said heritage. So all of those pieces of work have been done or are being done in the next few months, or the next few weeks rather. The culmination of that is that we hope we might begin to put some colour on that and begin to start thinking about different master plan options, and there will be multiple options. We won't just go, that's it. And at that point, again, we want to come and share with groups that would like to see us, get people's views. What have we got right? What have we missed? What have we got wrong? On to timescales then, really importantly. I mentioned the local plan review. That might be published in its first form next sort of April, next spring. There's some doubt about that, simply because if the government changes, the Labour Party are committed to tearing up parts of the recent announcements that the government made on planning reform and doing their own planning reform. So there's every likelihood that timetable of Somerset plan will slip. If it doesn't, we're probably looking at least a couple of years for, if we get into that plan, for the plan to go forward to a point where we might feel that we could start a planning application. We're probably looking at around a year to prepare a planning application, because this would need environmental impact assessment because it's such a big area. That would maybe get us a permission within about 5 years. That's likely to only be an outline. There then need to be individual applications for the detail that follows that. You'll immediately see then that we're looking at a minimum of 5 years probably before we could get a planning ticket on this, if it all goes the way we would like it to. In my view, it's probably likely to be longer than that. That sort of timetable leads us on to an important part of what Barrett's pledge going forward is on climate change, and that's that, unlike most of the PLC house builders, we're committed to delivering zero carbon homes by 2030. So you'll immediately see when we're talking about development starting in 5 or 7 years' time, that the majority, if not all, of the homes that are on that site, if it goes forward, will be zero carbon. Up on the screen there, it's impossible to read, and I do apologise that it's very small, but it's worth having a look at. It's called the Z House, the ZED, project we've done with Salford University up in Manchester, the first sort of new home built by a house builder, us, showing how in the future we can deliver zero carbon. Some very familiar technologies on there, the photovoltaics on the roof, but also some more innovative technologies which are still at their sort of infancy, battery storage in particular. So we're beginning to think how we will deliver those zero carbon new homes. So we're quite proud at Barrett of our sustainability record, what we do. We partner with the RSPB. We think we're ahead of the game in terms of climate change and reacting to that and planning for those substantial, big global changes that are coming. So by 2030, zero carbon. If anybody's interested, our website, not Barrett Homes, but Barrett Developments PLC, vast amounts of information about the company and sustainability. Finally, it's one we often get asked about. It's a bit premature.